Hi everyone, I'm Serious. Today you will be surprised because I will make a battle video after a long time of not doing it. Mega Kaiju vs Godzilla 2019. Okay, I won't say much more. Let's get started. 1. Mega Kaiju. Mega Kaiju is a Kaiju hybrid. It is 128.01 meters high, 101.88 meters in length and weighs 7,864 tons. The Mega Kaiju is the amalgamation of Raijin, Hakuza, and Srython merged together by a swarm of smaller robotic hybrid Kaiju. It displays attributes of its previous forms and towers over the Jaegers. The Mega Kaiju is a hexapedal Kaiju with two tails that have spear-shaped ends, similar to Srython's. The arm carapace of Hakuza on its two arms and four digitigrade legs, and Srython's shoulders fused with Raijin's upper arm structure. Part of Raijin's head carapace appear below the neck and on the chest, and the head is a fusion of all three Kaiju, with Hakuza's lower jaw separating into two tusks, Raijin's facial structure, and Srython's upper head structure. It has 10 eyes, 5 on each side of its head. Along its back are several jagged, carapace-based spines, and the Kaiju sports a color scheme similar to its Kaiju components. As a fusion, the Mega Kaiju gains on the powers and abilities of the Kaiju it is composed of, notably Raijin's ability to redirect kinetic energy and Srython's spiked tails, in greater scale in addition of increased strength and durability. His most notable ability is kinetic energy absorption. Mega Kaiju gained this ability from Raijin. Its veins glow when it absorbs kinetic energy from attacks. It can use the absorbed energy to empower itself or redirect it toward an opponent. The Mega Kaiju can release stored kinetic energy by striking the ground with its fist, unleashing a shockwave that can destroy numerous buildings and launch Jaeger into the air. The Mega Kaiju's two tails function as effective close-range weapons. Attack potency. Far superior to Gypsy Avenger and other Jaeger and destroy them easily. Destroyed multiple city blocks by jet drawing. Will go into falling Mount Fuji that would have caused a chain reaction that would destroy the world. Lifting strength. Can easily lift and toss Jaeger into buildings. Striking strength. Palm down the 4 Jaeger by slamming its fist into the ground. Durability. Easily withstood multiple hits from the Jaegers. Kinetic energy absorption makes it difficult to be killed. Stamina very high. Range several hundred meters via sheer size and shock waves. Planetary via environmental destruction. Intelligence animalistic. 2. Legendary Godzilla. In the 2019 film, Godzilla is 119.8 meters high, 177.4 meters in length, and weighs 99,634 tons. So Godzilla is 12 tons heavier than Mega Kaiju. Atomic Breath. Godzilla spews this atomic energy from his mouth as a blue blast of flame which is capable of destroying one Shinomura, warding and knocking down the female Muto, and pushing back King Ghidorah. In addition to serving as a weapon, Godzilla's atomic breath can be utilized as a dominant display, while he also uses the bluish glow which emanates from his dorsal fins as an intimidation display. When he fires the beam directly into the female Muto's mouth, it decapitates and kills her almost instantly. After the battle in Boston, Godzilla ultimately incinerates Ghidorah's last head by holding it in his mouth while firing his atomic breath. Nuclear Pulse. The Monsterverse Godzilla possesses nuclear pulse ability, which he uses in his final confrontation with Muto Prime. Once Muto Prime is stunned by the Orca, Godzilla lifts it onto his back and fires a concentrated shockwave of atomic energy from his shadow dorsal plates. This pulse launched Muto Prime into the air and rendered it helpless enough for Godzilla to finish it off by crushing its head. Godzilla utilized a more powerful version of the attack in his final battle with King Ghidorah in Boston, when it was in burning Godzilla form. After absorbing the radiation of nuclear warhead and Mothra's life force, Godzilla began to collect and released incredibly powerful thermonuclear pulses that incinerated Ghidorah and the larger portion of Boston with him. The first nuclear pulse is sufficient to strike both of Ghidorah's wings, and Godzilla follows up with the second that incinerates both Ghidorah's right and left heads. Durability. The Monsterverse Godzilla displays an impressive degree of durability. He is shown to have survived the detonation of Castle Grayskull, a 50 megaton hydrogen bomb, while directly next to the bomb in 1954. He also survived the impact of the meteor, which caused the Permian extinction event. Godzilla has extremely strong durability, also it does not die, just barely alive after being hit by the oxygen destroyer. Godzilla's durability is supplemented by the radiation he absorbs. In this powered-up state, Godzilla's durability is enhanced, rendering him able to withstand Ghidorah's gravity beams with no visible harm at all, and also to survive the explosion produced when the nuclear energy within his body reaches critical mass. Attack potency. Overpower the Mutos and Shinomura, and fight on par with Muto Prime and King Ghidorah. After he was revived with the nuclear weapon, he was able to dominate Ghidorah in combat, and Ghidorah himself had to absorb massive amount of energy to defeat them. After he reached critical mass and absorbed Mothra's life force, he emitted an omnidirectional nuclear pulse that obliterated Ghidorah. Speed. Quickly ran across several city blocks in Boston, able to whip his tail faster than the speed of the male Muto. Matched Ghidorah in combat. Lifting strength. Much stronger physically than the Mutos, and casually tossed, carried, and shoved them around like ragdolls. Striking strength. Much stronger physically than the Mutos. Higher with energy absorption, stomped Ghidorah. Range. Several dozen meters by sheer virtue of size. 177.4 meters with tail, several hundred meters with atomic ray, several kilometers with nuclear pulse, incinerated several city blocks of Boston. Intelligence, at least high animalistic. It seems to mostly rely on instincts, but demonstrated learning and strategy during his battle with the Mutos. Weaknesses. Godzilla's gills are somewhat softer and more vulnerable to harm than the rest of his body, as he was shown to recoil in pain when they were targeted by missiles. Notable physical attacks. Power Bite. Godzilla possessed a powerful bite made to hold the enemy. Tail Hit. Godzilla's tail is also a formidable weapon, shown when he uses it to smash the male Muto into a skyscraper when it tries to attack him from behind, impaling it on the building and killing it instantly. Claws Slash. In one of his battles with Muto Prime, Godzilla managed to force the creature off of him by slashing it in the head with his claws, visibly drawing blood. From the above analysis, I was able to conclude Godzilla would completely dominate any kaiju we've seen in Pacific Rim 1 or 2. To make it easy for you to distinguish, I will call the monster in Godzilla movie is Titan, and in Pacific Rim is Kaiju. The biggest and heaviest kaiju we've seen is the Mega Kaiju. Now the 2019 Monsterverse Godzilla is 99, 634 tons. Mega Kaiju is obviously bigger than Godzilla, but it only weighs 7,864 tons. That is a major difference and the real decider in this fight. But why the Pacific Rim Kaiju so light compared to Godzilla? The Godzilla and Pacific Rim universes are completely separate. Godzilla and the Mutos have always lived on Earth, while the Pacific Rim Kaiju come from another world. The Pacific Rim Kaiju appear to be made of some materials that are incredibly strong but impossible light from their home dimension. This helps explains why such massive creatures are so fast and agile, whereas the Mastodon Titans seem to mostly plod along given their incredible mass. Consider that force is equal to mass times velocity and you begin to see one of the reasons Godzilla is dominant. He can generate far more power than the Kaiju given his mass, especially when you consider how much more active he is in Godzilla King of the Monsters. While the Kaiju are fast and powerful, they have been undone by missiles, melee weapons, and plasma casters. It seems their body, while very functional, lack the density of the native born Titans. Godzilla has tanks, fangs, and claws, missiles, and exploding shells. Ghidorah's gravity beams, a hydrogen bomb, and nuke from a submarine, and even survived the super bomb called the Ocean Destroyer, though he was critically weakened by this. Godzilla only to witness seems to be his gills, as he reacts poorly when he takes the hit there. But given his mass and durability fighting that of the Kaiju, I just don't think that he can truly threaten him while he can rip it to shreds. Godzilla tanked an indirect hit from a meteor that caused a mass extinction event, while Mega Kaiju got dragged by a Jaeger that flew into the sky and it was cut in half. And last but not least, he aced in the hole. Godzilla's atomic breath. This is obviously more powerful than even Jushi Danger plasma casters. Godzilla's atomic breath can push back 141,000 tons King Ghidorah, while Mega Kaiju weighs only nearly 8,000 tons. The Kaiju appear to be particularly vulnerable to energy weapons, and Godzilla would end up roasting them like marshmallows. Mega Kaiju, even if it jumped into the volcano to cause a reaction to destroy the world, it is not enough to hurt Godzilla. So the 100% victory belongs to Godzilla. I think it is pretty clear that Godzilla is on another level than all Pacific Rim Kaiju. Okay, so the video is over. Are you satisfied with my conclusion? Please comment your thought below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if this is the first time you watch. Goodbye and see you again.